Welcome back, everyone, to episode 31 of Show and Tell. This is just my small adventure to highlight the creators and contributors to the Magic the Gathering community. Today, I'm thrilled to be joined by filmmaker, guitarist, perhaps model, allegedly, and hella Magic streamer, Bugs Maytrix. Bugs, so glad you can join me. So glad you could be here. How are we doing this evening?
I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah,
I'm stoked.
I was doing so. I was like, oh yeah, just like riding a bicycle, and then
No,
those teeth of mine, and
it's a big mood. No, thank you for having me. I'm really stoked to hang out and chat about it.
Awesome. Me too. I was gonna give you a lot of crap for being a Mets fan on this, but not only are the Mets, I still think the best team in baseball as of this recording. Me as an Angels fan got to see the news that Mike Trout left in the middle of a game today. 29 games into the season again. So, you know, I don't really have a whole lot of room to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, like
teams, but
I grew up in a Cubs household, so I know what it's like to back losing dogs.
Oh, the Cubs. Okay, that's But they did it right. They broke the curse. Or were they?
Yeah, yeah. It was the curse. It was the curse. It was like 100 years. They broke it in 16.
I mean, that's that's something. That's you can't. I think.
Yeah, they broke it, and then the world got really weird right after.
Oh, is that?
I know. I think that was October 2016. I think they just pulled the cork out of like everything that was normal. Cubs won. God, that was. I was studying for finals. I was in college at the time.
All right.
Studying for finals. I was in so the way that my library worked was it gets like quieter the further you go down.
Okay.
I was in the dead zone, like cramming for this big paper. Wasn't even paying attention to the game. And then I hear just like from way out in the distance, this big eruption happens. I'm like, oh, the Cubs won. Let's go.
That's pretty funny. I mean, that's kind of a cool. So I'm spoiled kind of being in LA, right?
Yeah.
Teams winning championships is not necessarily unheard of out here. We got the Lakers and the Dodgers. Even like the Kings are pretty good usually if you're into hockey. But it's always, I mean, everyone loves an underdog story, right? The Cubs. There was the Cavaliers a few years ago. Cleveland as a now a LeBron fan, as a former LeBron hater. Once you get into the Lakers, like, oh yeah, I'm all about LeBron. Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you have a LeBron,
yeah,
why not celebrate that?
Yeah, but the Cubs as kind of wasn't it in Back to the Future? Did they get the year right for the Cubs winning? Wasn't that a big I can't remember. He goes to the future and like.
I think they missed it by 1 year because I think it goes to 2015.
That's I think you're right
because it's 85, 55, 2015, and then I think it's like 1885 is the third one.
Yeah, that sounds
maybe.
Right. Yeah, that's funny because they pretty much they got the correct, almost got the winning baseball team, and they almost got the correct future with the horrible stuff, but. But yeah, baseball. I mean, America's pastime. It's kind of one of those things. It's just there's so much baseball. Baseball is so long.
So I ebb and flow with how much I pay attention to baseball, and I hadn't been to a game for a couple of years up until last year. Was at a Twins game, and I learned that they introduced a shot clock for pitchers.
Yeah,
and that threw me the fuck off because I was I'd gotten I paid $20 for one of those big Trulies, and I'm cool. I'm just gonna hang out, drink this thing over 4 hours. I blink, and I'm oh, it's the bottom of the sixth. I still got I'm I look at my friends, and I'm well, I'm about to be really funny. That was nuts.
Yeah, the shot clock thing was interesting concept. I mean, basically, the games would just drag on.
Yeah, but that's the fun. It's the hangout.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing too because I feel like of all the sports, baseball a lot of time is the last one to embrace modernity.
Yeah.
Right. They're all. They can't. Everything is so sacred. Where you get the NBA or the NFL, where NFL's every year new rules for kickoffs and this and that. But
I could not tell you how to score points in football anymore.
Well, I mean, with how many cases of CTE. Those guys, I don't know if they could either. Which so
That-
it's probably good they're trying to. I know that's probably maybe that's not good. But at least they're trying to make efforts to protect people a little more. But yeah, no, baseball is so caught up in their pastimes and their traditions. I mean, you can't even like you hit a home run, you point your bat. It's like, oh well, this guy's getting beaned for the next 3 times he comes up. It's like, man, it's sometimes you gotta let players show a
like,
little.
There's like a pageantry to it. There's this like There's I don't know. I've heard enough people liken baseball to theater that I just can't unsee it.
Oh, okay.
And so like I really think that like having that like sense of tradition and this sense of like preservation for how the game is played, like it is in many ways baseball is in 18 or so person improvised full contact comedy routine.
You know what? That is a very interesting way to look at it that I have not considered before. Huh.
What is a diamond if not a theater in the round?
There you go. That's a quote. That is a quote right there. That's funny. The theater in the round. That's a very good way to look at it. I was going to say something about baseball and I forgot what it was. So you know what? We're going to move on to what I like to pretend the show is about, Magic the Gathering.
Oh.
So Magic. So talk to me. I always like to joke. The best place to start is at the beginning. So what got you into Magic, or when did you kind of hop into playing the game?
So like everyone, I have like multiple origin stories for that.
Yep.
The technical time I first played Magic was in high school.
Okay.
It would be kind of a thing that my friends and I would play at like track and cross country meets, like after events had happened, and we're just like killing time because those things are really long. If you've never, excuse me, like track meets start at 4 or 5 in the afternoon, end at like 10, sometimes later. And I anchored the 4x4.
Oh, jeez.
So I was there for a lot of it. But yeah, so I got my first taste in high school, thought it was really fun, was absolutely broke. I was trying to think earlier today, like what sets were contemporary then. I believe it would have been Return to Ravnica.
Okay.
I remember World Spine Worm being a very big deal to my friends.
Gotcha. That was to your point. I've bounced in and out of Magic since when I was in junior high, which had been like 98. So like I started in Urza's.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, stopped, came back in college, and like when the first Ravnica sets came out, I was kind of on the tail end. I think Lorwyn was it was.
I think it was Ravnica then Lorwyn.
Yes, or was it Times? Yeah, whenever Lorwyn came out, that's when I took a break, and then I picked it up a little bit right when Theros came out, and I remember someone was like, "Oh yeah, here, look at all these Ravnica cards." I was like, "I don't remember these from Ravnica." It's like, "Oh, Return." I was like, "Oh, they did a Return set," which was weird because I don't know if they had really done anything like that at the time.
I believe that was the first Return set.
Yeah, so I remember being just really confused because someone had like a Ghost Council card, and I remembered it from Ravnica, and I was like, I don't remember this card at all. But it's like, oh, this is a different.
This is a different version of the thing you love.
Exactly. So I was just like, oh, but the popping, in and out. It's kind of just how I think Magic players tend to be a lot of times.
But yeah, so like I played it a little bit then, and then due to being I was much better at track than I was at Magic. So that was a lot of where my focus went, like, through high school, through college, didn't really play it. Finished college, finished grad school, and then as I'm like gearing up to like enter the workforce, I'm like, I have a real person job for the first time in fucking forever. I should buy Magic cards. This is financially responsible. And I like some friends of mine and I got into it like for like Thanksgiving 2022.
Okay.
We were like, let's get super high and play Magic the Gathering. Like this is trans.
As one does, yeah.
Trans Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
We had a blast, and then like a couple days later I'm tweeting about it and someone's like, hey, did you know that they made Baldur's Gate cards? And I'm like, no. Is there a Minsk and Boo? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, I'm gonna go buy 1 pack of Baldur's Gate. And if there's a Minsk and Boo in that pack, I will get very into this hobby. And there was a Minsc and Boo in the
Oh my
back.
god. So it was destiny. It was
Like literally,
kismet, yeah.
literally. I'm like, I will buy 1 pack of this, and if it hits, this is a sign. And so that would have been late November 2022. Haven't looked back. So very recent to the game, all things considered.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like when you talk about people's entry points and like, Baldur's Gate to me is like, oh, that's so new. I mean, it's kind of not right. It's almost 3 years now.
Yeah.
But again, it's like someone who's been playing since pre 2000. I'm like, oh, you're such like a
I'm a little baby.
little baby.
Little fetus.
But so I have to admit something though. So
Yeah.
when I first kind of started seeing you in like Magic stuff, like especially on Bluesky,
Yeah.
I was like, who is this Bugs Maytrix person? Because you do not have a insignificant following. I was like,
No.
you had like 24,000 followers. I was like, how have I never? Because I like to think I'm pretty
Yeah.
into it, and I was like, how have I never heard of this person? How does she have all these followers? Which is awesome. Like,
Yeah.
to me, I was like, okay, they must be doing something awesome. And like people, and you were posting matches. I was like, how have I never? Like, I could not understand how you had not fallen on my radar.
Yeah.
And it kind of got me thinking. And I bring this up because we had talked a little bit beforehand about being a goofy little person on the internet, right? Being
Yeah.
like, and like, I was curious about your thought process on like being like a Magic person, or like kind of like what am I missing here in this story that like that got you to this point, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Connect the dots.
connect the dots for me. Yeah.
No, I mean, like, so part of it really honestly is the way that I approach social media is very sincere and earnest, and if I like things, I will just talk about them a lot.
Yeah.
And this card game makes me like, it makes the brain go burr.
Mhm.
And so yeah, like I very accidentally became an internet person in the fall of 2020. I spent like all of my undergrad life pretty in like niche internet spaces. And like late 2019, early 2020, like most of my internet use was relegated to like Facebook fan groups for like bands that I enjoy. But in 2019, I started grad school out in LA, and I was like, everyone has a Twitter. I should get on Twitter. I'll use this to like follow industry stuff.
Makes sense,
connect. It's like I don't have business cards. I'm like not established enough as a person to do that. But it's like, oh, we're cool. Yeah. Here's my @. We'll just chat or something.
Back when Twitter was actually functional and usable and not a hellhole. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I have so many thoughts and feelings about the current state of the artist formerly known as Twitter. Yeah, so I just kind of had that percolating, and then pandemic happens, everything gets shut down, I'm online a lot more, and I'm just asking some friends like, hey, what's I want to follow like more cool and funny queer people on Twitter. Like I just need the scroll. Like what's good? I get pointed to a couple people.
Mhm.
I start getting a couple followers, we're hanging out, it's whatever. And then fast forward a few months, I've got like 100 followers, and I'm like, that's perfect. I am not trying to be anyone. I'm just out here being funny and saying shit and making internet friends. And I post this selfie that like was the most chaste selfie I have, like fully clothed, mere like outfit of the day type, whatever. I'm like, jeans, tank top, jacket, whatever. And I think I captioned it like, this one's for the girls and the gays. I wake up and I have like 400 more followers.
Oh, okay.
And then I wake up the next day and have like 800 followers. By the end of the week, I have 1,500 followers.
Oh,
and
wow.
it just kind of like starts snowballing. And I'm like, surely the bottom's going to fall out at some point. By the end of 2020, I've got like 7,000 followers.
Oh, wow.
And it just kind of keeps going. And so I joke that I'm like the Paris Hilton of online spaces sometimes, where I'm just kind of famous for being famous. Like, it's like, oh yeah, it's Bugs from internet. Like, Like I was not making like any sort of like I was not like a content creator. I hate the
Yeah.
term, but like I wasn't doing anything. I was just hanging out and making goofs and whatever. And so when I started getting into Magic and like posting about it a lot, it was just like yeah, like I've had a non-insignificant number of people be like, "You're a weirdly massive platform. Where did you come from?" And I'm like, I literally just kind of spawned. I just kind of happened. I don't. It baffles me too. Which I mean, I really hope that no one takes that to see that I have like any outsized authority on anything. Like that terrifies me. It's like no, the most power I have with Magic is destroying your Bluesky timeline whenever I remind people that it's Thraxamundar Thursday.
Yeah, what's funny, I was gonna say, I have come to know you as the day of week
Yeah.
alliterative
It's
something.
yeah, and I love stretching that. I'm like, how stupid can this get?
Hey, listen, like, let me tell you, as someone who's got their own weird thing on TikTok, you got to find your thing, right? My TikTok is I just write haikus about Magic cards. Like that's
oh
my
wait,
thing,
that's
right?
sick.
Yeah, so like that's my thing. So like if you find something that works, but and if it's people like it, and let me tell you, there's not a thing people Magic players love more than talking about Magic cards sometimes.
And like, and I try to like tailor the thing for like, no, show me like your pet cards, show me the weird tech, show me like, I want to see, it's Molten Monday. Show me your favorite card with lava in the art.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Wumpus Wednesday.
Wumpus Wednesday. 100 Wumpus. That was when I used to play that card all the time.
No. We're all on the Shiv and Wumpus tech now. Times have changed.
Listen, I'm old school. 100 Wumpus.
Oh no, I love the Hunted Wumpus too, but like Shiv and Wumpus.
Shiv and Wumpus is good. Was Hunted Mercadian Mask? I bought. Gosh,
I think Hunted was masks.
Was that? I bought so much Mask and Nemesis and Prophecy.
Hell yeah.
Do you think any of those cards are worth anything other than like for how much? Okay, I loved Prophecy when Prophecy came out. I loved the Avatar. Woe was my favorite card. I'm pretty sure. If I had to pick one Avatar, but all the avatars I thought were the coolest thing.
Yeah.
But that set, most of that set was like garbage. But do you know how much Prophecy I had bought? You know how many Ristic Studies I had just sitting in a box somewhere? Just one. One. Yeah, I was like,
how?
When I realized how much that card was, and it was just an uncommon, I was like, oh, I bought so much Prophecy. I probably have no, just one.
I mean,
just one.
It's a very different experience, but like kind of also same hat. I play a lot of Pauper.
Yeah.
And so like, whenever I'm like, oh shit, wait, yeah, that was reprinted at Common in like whatever set. I'm like, I bought a box of that. I bet I've got, at least a play set, and it's like I have one.
Oh yeah. That
I'm like, and it's even if it's
about
like
the uncommons sometimes feel like you don't.
God.
It's like rares you understand you get one rare pack, but sometimes your uncommons you're like
they're harder to get.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, I've opened so much like all B1, and I'm like, if I crack another Kemba or like Mind Splice apparatus, I swear to God, I'm like just like no, give me another like. Why can't I have this luck with like, I don't know, one of the Dominuses or something,
I know, right? Something interesting at least. Well, it's like I think what is it? Stock Up right now is like a
$10
uncommon or something.
12 at foil.
And then I went to buy a Bolt Wave from Foundations. It's like 1 mana. It's like every opponent takes 3 damage. It's like a $6 uncommon too. I'm like, what's up with these uncommons being over $5? Like,
wait, Bolt Wave's $6 now. Shit, I gotta invest.
It's like it's way too high for.
Oh my god, no, that thing goes nuts. I built the Foundations Niv Mizzet as a commander. And 1 mana, 3 Ancestral Recalls, pretty good.
That is pretty good. I'm building a Gandalf the Grey and his Otter Friends Spellslinger deck. So like with Gandalf, it's 1 mana, 6 damage to everyone, which is kind of neat.
That's pretty decent.
But I have like this will be my second Gandalf deck, and I kind of want to make a third one. It's a lot of. I really like. Lord of the Rings. I was really big on. So Gandalf. I really like Gandalf.
The Lord of the Rings set. My partner and I were just talking about this. We're both just like, maybe like It's like what gives me hope for other like universes beyond like full sets, because like that was nuts.
Yeah,
How perfect it was.
it really was. I actually built the Lord of the Rings cube, my first cube I made, which is I was like, yeah, what can I do with this? Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Oh my god. No, I just speaking of Popper, just got another play set of the troll, the swamp cycles,
Oh, the Morik.
Khazad-dûn.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, another uncommon that's in like
No, that's
probably...
a common. That's a common.
Oh, okay, so that's a little better.
It's,
Yeah, there you go.
It's I I'm working on a reanimator deck, and I'm like, yeah, turn 1, pitch a troll to swamp cycle, turn 2, exhume, get like super menace 6/5. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, exactly. It's
your go.
it's amazing because wasn't that legacy playable for a while too? I feel like
yeah, I think that was seeing some play in legacy. Honestly, I might put one. I've got like a semi vintage cube.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a kitchen table vintage cube where it's like, yeah, there's like proxied power in it, and there's also like Shivan Dragon.
Oh yeah, no, that's like the best. Yeah, that interests me in making. And then, have you seen the 100 Thopter?
Oh
cube?
my god, I want to draft that so bad.
That one seems like a fun one to build too. Just for,
Yeah,
I was never like I never was a what's it called, draft
like
constructed draft for yeah, I was never like a limited person.
Yeah.
And then my play group one day, my friend's like, well, he had a popper cube. He brought his popper cube, and I was like, oh, this is like all the cards I remember. It was amazing. I drafted like a bunch of shadow creatures from like Urza and like Tempest and everything. I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing. I love cube. I love cube.
Yeah.
And like that's and then we've talked about like popper being one of the best formats as well.
Oh yeah.
And like popper, I mean popper's cool because I think popper is actually a great way to introduce. I mean, I don't think teaching people to play Commander is a bad idea. I know some people it's kind of a little divisive.
It's
like
I wouldn't lead with. I have taught people through Commander first, and it always leads to more confusion.
Yeah, I like to just throw people in the deep end with Commander that's how I thought. But I think popper is actually might be the best way because it's a little you can make a lot of interesting decks. That aren't super expensive, and it's like a very there are it's not just like, well, here's a 1-mana 1/1 with that.
No, you can play a lightning bolt. You can play brainstorm. You can play a playset of brainstorm.
Yeah,
that's sick.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, you can like just showing people like how to use brainstorm, and it's like, no, you do the brainstorm at the end step, and then you flush the bad cards, and then you cast your ponder next turn and shuffle those away, and you get something good.
Yeah,
like. And just like watching that click for people, like you can play Delver. It's not great right now, but you can play a Delver.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. It's I definitely think more people should play pop. I mean, in general, I think playing a 60 card format is a different because I grew up playing it was all 60 cards, but it was kitchen table, right? So it was just like whatever. And then the multiplayer was just your 60 card deck, just a bunch of people, and you just
in a circle. Just
it was a Wild West. Like, good luck, like everyone throws out 7 creatures. Hopefully, someone draws the Wrath of God to kind of reset the board and start over and win from there. But
someone Armageddons.
Yeah, that was me. I used to run. My favorite card was Desolation Angel.
Yeah.
Because you kicked it, and then it was basically had a built-in Armageddon, but it's like a 5/4 flyer. So if you get it out on curve or even whatever, typically you just win, right?
Yeah, because it's just like, what are you gonna do about that? like,
so.
Oh my god, yeah. Either popper or jumpstart are my favorite ways to teach people.
Oh yeah, jumpstart. My good friend who I play with usually at his house. His younger son is kind of starting to interest, and I had gotten him some Jumpstart packs for Christmas, and they've started playing that. And I'm like, oh, that's actually a great way to like ease them into the game for sure.
I've got a Bloomborough Jumpstart cube.
Oh, okay.
That's it's less random than like traditional Jumpstart, but I try to show people for it to be like a fighting game where I want you to. I've got the 10 2-color pairs of like the main creatures. And then 10, 2 of each color, like support packs. Okay. Where it's like pick something that's in your pick your guy and then pick your power up.
Oh, sweet! That's awesome! Wow,
it's so fun.
That sounds really cool. It's crazy, like the amount of creativity people get with like their cubes and like
Yeah.
the jumpstart kind of packs and all that kind of stuff. It just kind of goes to show like someone once I've heard it multiple times. Magic is really a game engine, right? It's become
Yeah.
more than
It's like a system. It's
yeah. You can you have the game pieces, but you can use them in all these different sort of ways, which is I think that the beauty of the game. And I think why it's lasted so long.
Absolutely. Like
I've played a decent amount of card games in my life that just don't exist anymore. A lot of them being Star Wars based, which is unfortunate.
that is I was just watching a YouTube video about that, and it's crazy that like Star Wars games have such a hard time like sticking.
Yeah.
Like because it's Star Wars.
Yeah. Well, and it's so my first card game was the Star Wars CCG, the Star Wars customizable card game. That was I think the first like attempt at like a Magic-esque game.
Yeah.
And for a while it was neck and neck with Magic. Like there would be a few months where like it would outsell Magic.
Yeah.
But you want to talk about like a convoluted game. Like I know we joke about stuff like day and night and the initiative and stuff. Banding. But this game, like every set, you had locations based on the movies, and there'd be like special,
Oh.
Like for example, if you had Dagobah locations, the only people who could deploy to Dagobah were Luke and Yoda, unless you had a special card that let them, or you had to fly to the Dagobah system, land a ship, and then disembark them. So you couldn't deploy directly to, it was like, and it's like really these like weird esoteric rules that you have to like know, and like the interactions were really weird. It did a really good job of capturing I feel like the movies in a card game, but it was super expansive.
Yeah, no, I remember I think I bought a couple packs of that as a kid, just like I fucking love Star Wars.
Yeah.
And so I remember getting like I had a Rancor card.
Yeah.
And I think that thing's probably borderline unplayable.
Well, again, the Rancor was a creature type, which was like relatively rare in the game. There were special creature rules where I'm pretty sure if you deployed a creature, you actually didn't control it. It kind of just moved on its own.
Oh, it was just a dude? Wait, that's awesome!
Yeah. It's like I think and it might have been even like you had to deploy to the Rancor pit, like in Jabba's palace, and then like, but it's like the cool part is like, okay, if you made a Jabba's palace deck, you'd have like the audience chamber would be like your starting location, and like you'd have like the Rancor pit, and there would be like a prison cell and like the droid bay. So you'd make this deck where like, oh yeah, I play the Rancor, and then I play this card that like, oh, if you're in the audience chamber of Jabba, your character gets thrown in the Rancor pit.
Yeah.
So it's like all
like there's something really cinematic about this.
Yes. That's probably the best way to put it. It's probably the most cinematic card game I've ever seen. But to be that way, it was just like the rules were like booklets,
uncritical support to anyone trying to write rules text for any card game in the 90s.
Oh yeah, it's like, there was a Star Trek one I think that was even more complicated that I never even looked at, and even like gosh, I've gotten into collecting. There was this card game called Annie Mayhem, which was my first introduction to having any sort of Dragon Ball Z cards.
Yeah,
their third set was all Dragon Ball Z based, but like even to this day, people don't necessarily agree on how the rules work because it was so like the rules were so kind of wibbly wobbly and like not refined. Yeah. So it's just like funny seeing like how tight Magic really is compared to like all these other sort of games. But
it truly is wild to see like just how the impact that Magic has had on like every subsequent card game, where it's like how do they contend with like the lands or like the resource accumulation versus like something like it's a digital game, but like Hearthstone being like, oh, you just get a land every turn, or Pokemon with like the energy that you can like move around, and that's kind of like a pseudo land thing, but not like it's
the resource. I mean, I feel like I don't know. There's something about the land system that's so eloquent in a way compared to other stuff. There's a Gundam game coming out that I'm a little torn because it looks like a lot of the similar. I think it's like Bandai does like the Digimon card game and like similar kind of vibe. And those games have never really struck me, but I really like Gundams too. So I'm like, well, I'd really like to have Hero Yui. So Hero Yui and Wing Zero Gundam just seems like a cool thing to be able to
I mean, like Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like just having it was like, oh, that, or just buying those cards. I'm like, oh, this is going to be something else I have to spend money on.
Right, but like I mean, you get a pack or two, maybe get like a starter deck.
you know exactly. There's whatever the current Star Wars. What's the Star Wars one called right now?
Unlimited or something like
Unlimited.
that.
Yeah. So like I bought. So I have. So Luke Skywalker, like any card game where he's got a Jedi Knight version, I have that. I buy that
Yeah.
card. So I bought
Hell
the
yeah.
unlimited. So I had the Luke Skywalker Unlimited Jedi Knight. You know, I have the CCG. I have played a lot of Star Wars Destiny, which was like
Okay.
when they had dice, which actually was like
Yes.
super fun. That was one of those things that I got into during the pandemic, and I bought I bought a bunch,
Yeah.
and then like 2 weeks later they discontinued the game. So I bought a bunch on clearance after that. But then it's like, let me tell you, the dice are cool, but they add like a storage aspect that you don't really
That's
have to worry. Yeah.
yeah. No, like I like that Magic is very self-contained in comparison.
Yeah. I mean, that's again, like, other than like tokens and maybe some dice, and we have, all the resources we have available. Shout out to Infinite Tokens, like
Oh my god, yeah.
making life so much easier in a lot of
Yeah.
aspects.
Oh, with the little the counters
Yeah.
are like those that like I love the reusable tokens, but like I also I love official tokens so much also, just like I have, if I'm a dirty tokens player at heart,
Yeah. No, it's
especially in Commander, and I think there's nothing funnier than starting a game. Let me get prop comedy out. I've got my my infect deck, and I'm like, yeah, we'll make about this many bites.
There you go. Yeah, it's
But oh, those little counters though are, if I'm putting -1/-1 counters on stuff, I don't want to use a dice.
yeah.
Like that's never. No, no.
So there was, before we get too into the more Magic stuff, you made a comment about that I did kind of find interesting, was about your amount of followers,
Yeah.
and you never want that to kind of dictate like a overreaching voice that you may have. What is it? So like, for someone who does have like what that response, with great power comes great
Yeah.
responsibility, right? It's kind of the same vibe, which you're kind of getting at. Have you found that you unintentionally have to like watch yourself when you're responding to things, or like is that something that's on your mind when you kind of have to interact with people? Because it's very easy to not really be aware of it as a like you said, a goofy person on the internet. Like here's again, Wumpus Wednesday. You kind of not think about these things, but like with such a broad audience, is that something that kind of sits in the back of your mind as you kind of talk about and post stuff?
There is a shocking level of self curation that goes into the way that I approach social media. Like, to be completely
okay.
honest,
Okay.
I am a very authentic person when I'm doing this, but I am very aware of how I'm going about doing things, and a big part of that is recognizing presumed power imbalances with like because people like think that like if you have a lot of followers you have a lot of power, and you both like do and don't in different ways.
Yeah.
But there is still this like social acumen that comes with like, oh, you have like a K next to how many followers you have, that's like a lot. As well as the parasocial dynamics that can kind of spawn from that, where I post very personably, and like I'll chat with people in comments and like try to like, I love social media. I think it's so fun. Like, I was not planning on being a social media person, but I love talking to people in my phone and then making them also be friends outside of phone.
Yeah.
It's a great time. But yeah, I really do take a lot of care so as to not, how do I want to put this? Because I mean, there are things that I do and don't censor myself on. Like, I don't censor myself on like my politics very much, for example, which may or may not cost me different sponsorships or like
opportunities.
it's opportunities. It's like, oh well, this is like, that is that, but that inadvertently does become part of like the Bugs Maytrix brand TM, where it's like I have this, I still tweet like I have 200 followers. Gotcha. Like, or post, because I'm not on Twitter, I'm on Bluesky, but it's their tweets. I know they're skeets, but they're tweets. I can't.
Yeah.
I called them tweets for years, and but, yeah, like, I mean, I didn't expect to have like this level of like semi like social capital. Like, I don't even know like
Yeah.
how, because like there are ways where it like both does and doesn't translate into anything material.
Yeah.
Like,
Hmm.
I uh without getting too into it, and like feel free to cut this if you want, but a couple, like a year ago, I'm like, I have 100,000 followers on Twitter, and I'm experiencing like kind of pseudo homelessness. And
Yeah.
so like it's one of those things that like it drives me insane when I see people like going after someone for being like, oh, you're a big account, like da 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 da, like blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you have no idea what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Um, and
Yeah. Followers.
so
Yeah. Followers don't necessarily equate to
no, they're like, and
anything
it,
tangible.
and it can, but it doesn't necessarily, because like on the
Yes.
flip side, my friend and I were able to crowdfund $100,000 for a film that we shot a couple years ago, and that doesn't happen if we both don't have like 75,000 Twitter followers at the time.
Yeah. Hmm.
So like there's that side of, like, it can materialize in certain ways, and I mean, absolutely, I get like more opportunities, like even like this,
Hmm.
where it's someone sees like, oh, you're like someone, maybe you're someone worth talking to, and I mean, like, I hope to be that, but also, um yeah, I do put like I want to make it look as effortless as possible and as like kind of firing from the hip, but
Yeah.
I am very aware of what I can fire from the hip, I think, is the best way to put things.
That makes sense. I mean, part of part of being in a position where you are, you don't want to let the follower count restrict you from speaking your truth, right? Like you talk
Yeah.
about, you're gonna talk about your politics. Like, I'm sure as a trans person, your politics are very front and center. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
uh, and constantly under attack in a lot of ways. Really, that's
Yeah.
so like, I would you would expect like, well, you're not gonna. Well, I don't want to rock the boat with my 100th.
Yeah.
That's not it's not healthy. Like, I don't think that's there's, I mean, social media is like this weird like double-edged sword where it's like, like to your point, it is really cool. Like, I've met
Yeah.
people through Twitter and through Bluesky and
Oh
through
my.
whatever that I
Yeah.
would never would have, like, people who like I text and who are I call, I think I consider like actual friends.
Yeah.
Like people who like, oh yeah, we hang out when we go to cons, we go to dinner, like this, like we check in, we talk about our day-to-day lives.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be possible without this sort of thing. But then, like, to your point, there's you don't want to let it take over your life. Like, it
Right.
can't be.
You can't let it become like an ego thing.
Yeah, exactly. I
Like,
think that the ego thing, I think, is really the point. Sometimes people, they lose sight
it's
of. Yeah,
because it's, you want to see number go up, and it, you know what, number doesn't always need to go up. It's
yeah,
cool and good. It, like, the perpetual growth mindset, like the way, kill the capitalist in your head. That's like, kill the capitalist that drives you to post for number instead of posting the way that you want to.
yeah.
Like, I literally just had something that I was gonna say, and I totally lost it. Um,
Been there a lot of times, actually.
Wait, like, hold up. I think we can get there. Oh my gosh, what was it? Lots of followers. It's goofy. Oh yeah. So a friend of mine. So I'm like in, a lot of like online trans community and everything, and something that a couple, like, friend groups that I'm a part of, a big thing
Hmm.
that we really try to do is, especially like, if you see, a trans person just saying kind of head ass shit, it's
Hmm.
not like, nothing like actually bad, but it's like, you're being annoying. Do not quote dunk her. Do not put her on blast.
Yeah.
Don't let us catch strays.
Yeah. No, and that's yeah.
Because it's like, that is because people are like really rabid right now,
Yeah.
and it's so much better. It's like, you laugh about it in a group chat or something if you need to, but also just like don't. Everyone else is coming for us. We don't need to be who's coming for us. And so it kind of just taking like that mindset and like extrapolating it further into how I engage with everything is like, don't start fires if there doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I'll slip up sometimes if there's like some jackass in my comments. I'll like put them on blast because I'm like, well, fuck you, man. But like,
yeah. Well, it's very easy to pile on the internet.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's
Yeah.
very easy to see something and like for someone like you to say bring visibility, someone who maybe is being an asshole.
Yeah.
But then like the visibility you bring,
It's,
now it's the exponential response they're gonna get.
yeah.
Is
Like
maybe not is
I could absolutely ruin someone's afternoon.
Yeah.
If I'm not careful. And I don't want to do that. Like, it's like I've been dogpiled before by like turfs and like freaks, and it bites, and I wouldn't wish that on anyone to like have to deal with like a harassment campaign.
Yeah.
Like social media brings out both the best and worst in a lot of people. Yeah. And like, yeah, and it is great. It is so fun to like, you know, meet folks who I might not otherwise have had a chance to. And like, so I've made so many like lifelong friends and like genuinely life-changing connections because of social media.
Yep.
And I just don't, it like, there's like the Marxist utopiast in me is like, this could be such a good place to like actually, you know, cultivate these beautiful little like internet enclaves and like make art and share cool shit with each other.
Yeah.
And then it's like, yeah, and then sometimes the billionaire buys the website and ruins your income. And I'm not going to say any more on that. Because I don't want you to catch strays from, yeah.
I mean, you know what, you're not wrong, and I'm sure we probably agree on a lot of points. But it's. I could just imagine. Yeah, it's tough. You gotta there's a lot of kind of things to think about when you're out there in the internets.
Yeah, it's being Bugs from internet is shockingly hilarious.
Well, let's talk about something maybe a little more uplifting.
Sounds good.
So, you recently just launched I can speak, I promise. Launched a new YouTube show, I believe, called The Exhibitionists.
Yeah.
So, I think because of the Magic Commander's shift into brackets, we've been presented with this interesting, instead of a 1 to 10 scale, we now have a 1 to 5 scale, which everyone's still kind of trying to navigate. And I think what was initially kind of laughed at as a weird bracket 1 pseudo jokey kind of deck world, I think people are actually no. I think there's a little bit more to
this.
There's
some juice here.
Yeah. So why don't you talk to me about the Exhibitionists and talk to me about your goals in this bracket 1 exploration kind of thing.
Definitely. Yeah. No. So I mean, like, first and foremost, I like starting the Exhibitionists. It started as a joke. It started as me shit posting because it's like, hi, yeah, I'm like former OnlyFans girly. Starts a show called The Exhibitionist. The sex jokes kind of write themselves. Yeah. Like, I couldn't just leave that alone. And I'm like, it'd be so funny to like have this show where it's like, I'm playing decks unsleeved. They're unprotected decks. Like, it's this whole, and you know, they're hot garbage, and we get people on and like celebrate, like, because, you know, when I got into Magic, I had no fucking clue what Commander was. Like, it took me about 6 months of just playing goofy Magic, and then people are like, Commander, and I'm like, what the fuck is Commander? And they're like, have you read the Minsc and Boo card? And I'm like, yeah, the Minsc and Boo Timeless Heroes can be your Commander. Cool. I don't know what that means. And then it's like, no, you pick a guy, and you build a deck around the guy, and like how cool the guy is. And I'm like, that sounds fun. That's kind of neat. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I make this goofy joke, and then my buddy Tracy hits me up and is like, "Hey, are you serious about this?" And I'm like, "Are you serious about this? Should we do this? Should we do this?" And they're like, "Yeah, like, they're affiliated with One Shot Pod network,
Okay.
and so it's all hosted on like their Twitch, and then like later going to be on like YouTube and stuff. And it's yeah, like the whole thing is really built around like, well, what if we kind of took that, like the inciting ethos of like how you tell someone who's never heard about Commander what Commander is, like what if we try to like actually recapture that
Yeah.
and really lead with like, just taking silly ideas, or like you see a mechanic on a card where it's like, okay, I want to do this, but I don't want it to be like busted. I just want it to be kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, this leads to a silly board. Um and just like taking that and running with it. And yeah, we had our first episode at the time of recording. Our first episode was this past Thursday.
Mhm.
And it was great. We had a pretty sizable audience for like a show that no one asked for, that is kind of hard to explain, that also the day that we were launching, Bluesky was like crashed for half the day, so like promo was hell.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got a couple buddies of mine on. I had Tappy and Tappy Toe Claws and Dark Pat Cosplay on, because they're a riot together. They're so fucking funny.
Oh yeah, those two. Yeah.
I adore both of them deeply, and I like when Tracy and I were like, who do we want to try to get? And I'm like, okay, if we can land one or both of them for like opening shows. And so when we book people, we book them for 2 episodes back to back, just because it's so much less stressful to be like, yeah, I have a Commander show that airs twice a month, and it's the same people on both episodes. Is like,
that's smart. Yeah, that's that's actually a very smart way to do it.
I mean, that was the thing that we talked about like very early on, like when we were kind of brainstorming this, because we're with like, if you've played Magic and are like in online spaces, like you have had the errant thought of like, what if I had a Commander show?
Oh yeah,
everyone's like that, and it's like, and then you think about it for 10 seconds. I'm like, I've been booked on enough Commander shows. I'm like, I would rather walk into the sea and deal with some of this. But we kind of were like, well, let's not do it that way. And so yeah, like we had Pact was on this really cool Gorgons Matters deck that's like this goofy Ravnica. It's like an 8-drop Gorgon that like petrifies guys and brings them back, and it's nuts. Tapio's on Boros Walls.
Oh, I love walls. That's walls just speak to my old Magic play. I used to play so many walls.
Walls are great. Walls. I want to build the Pauper Walls combo deck so bad. I think
that'd be freaking
it's
sweet.
so fucking funny. And yeah, so like it's been part of what this like experiment genuinely. I think of this like as both show and experiment is.
Yeah.
I don't think of the bracket system as like a scale.
Okay.
I think of it more as mindsets.
Okay.
And so I was at a shop the other day, and I heard a couple folks like kind of shit talking bracket one. They're like, okay, if you're not trying to win, what do you build? Like stacks then? And I'm like, no, you take, are you familiar with the Naya Jared Carthalion? The True Air. It's the Monarch one.
Oh yeah.
You take him and you build him mono red.
Oh.
That's what I do. It's packed with burn spells to shoot Jared when you're the Monarch and make him bigger.
Oh, that's funny.
It's just build a stupid deck, build a silly deck, and so it's like this trying to bring this ethos of like, it's not how powerful the deck is. It's like, what kind of game do we feel like playing?
Yeah.
Like, I could say very easily that my Rhea Ivor Bane of Bladehold is technically a bracket one because it's very Phyrexian themed. There aren't any game changers. There's the only piece of fast mana in it is like a Soul Ring, a Dark Ritual, and a Culling the Weak. But they're kind of one-off.
Yeah, I mean it's single shot rituals or
yeah,
you know.
But I would not say that this is spiritually like what's intended to be like a ladies looking left or chairs in art matter or oops dogs.
Yeah.
Which is, I think it's a bit of a misnomer to be like these decks aren't trying to win, but the decks aren't trying to force the win quickly. Like it's more about like, let's have silly card interactions. Let's like just it's Commander, like it's the Wild West. Like let's treat it as such. And you know, like I've had a lot of fun just building decks, going through my bulk, and I'm like, yeah, this does a thing. Then I'm like, yeah. I played a Barbed Sextant. That's not a good card.
No, but that's, you know, I know that card.
Yeah.
It's got cool art. I wish I could put it in a deck.
Yeah, I'm just like, well, because right, like, because it's by the whole joke about the mono red Jared is like he's in exile. I don't know if he's gonna show up, but we have like some maps to try to find him and stuff.
That's cool. No, that's super cool, actually.
Thank you.
Do you think? I mean, is this something you're gonna try to pursue more episodes with, or do you think?
Yeah, we are. We're gonna try to shoot it through the rest of the year, definitely. Just because it's fun, it's silly, it's a goofy brew space, and it's been fun to see people like online being like, okay, wait, no, bracket 1 has juice. Like if you, like, I think that people understand. Like, if you open your heart to what a bracket 1 deck could be, there all of a sudden it's like, that's a really exciting space of play. Because you're not just having, you know, 6 screens where it's like we've got Moxfield, EDH Rec, Scryfall, looking at like current lists of how everyone's built this, that, and the other thing. Yeah. And it's like, no, just like pick a dude. You don't need to play the best version of the card. Like get back to the kitchen table mentality. Like if you're, unless it's like for a very specific theme, if you're like buying singles for a bracket 1 deck, consider not.
Yeah. No, like, that's true. You probably have something sitting around somewhere. You have
something like it might cost 1 more mana and it does the same thing.
Yeah.
Run that. I promise you will have enough mana to cast it because these games take 15 turns.
Yeah.
But even like they go longer. We still got 2 games in 2.5 hours.
Yeah, it's pretty darn good, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, like it was reasonably paced. It was a lot of fun. Shivan Dragon's a house.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason that's, you know, the Shivan. It's
Shivan Dragon. People, like,
yeah, iconic.
It's a rare in alpha.
Yeah, wild times. Well, that's awesome. So in addition to the Exhibitionists, I believe you have 2 other podcasts. You have Podatog and Attic Magic. Is that correct?
Yes. So Attic Magic's on a little bit of hiatus right now. It's not hiatus. It's more whenever my partner and I have schedules that work, and she works a lot of night shifts as of late, and so Attic Magic is for anyone listening, is something I do with my partner. Her @ is deadflower.exe if you want to follow her on Bluesky. She's really cute and funny.
Make sure to get her information in the
definitely.
All this, if you're listening to, and all this stuff will be in the show notes. So please check out the exhibition. Check out. We'll definitely get all that.
Hell yeah,
easy access. Yeah,
that's our. She and I play just a lot of Magic together, and that's cool. Our It's like our paper gameplay, so like that's where we play Pauper, that's where we like draft our cube, that's where we play Jumpstart. I really, really want to get back into doing it regularly to get like pre-release kits and do like sealed stuff, because like she and I, we've gotten into a habit for like every new set we'll be like, okay, we could do a pre-release, or we could each buy a bundle and do like a bundle battle.
Yeah, that's cool. Bundles are cool. I feel like bundles very underappreciated these
days. I love a good bundle. And so yeah, like that's our just kind of like hang out, talk to chat. Yeah, we're already going to be playing Magic, so we might as well stream it.
Might as well stream it, yeah.
But yeah, we just haven't had the time recently. But yeah, Podatog, the podcast that I host with my friend Jordan, is it's our hot little goofy nonsense. Like, let's talk cardboard, let's talk our lives, let's try to make each other laugh. Jordan, aka Dead Domain, so they're usually a very like political focused, you know, internet person in a variety of formats.
Yeah.
And so this is like the fun haven from thinking about the hell. And oh my god, like I think my favorite moment we've had on there was when they came on and they were like, hey, guess what? I cracked a serialized Edgar Markov.
Oh my god.
Like, they were like, yeah, I was at the fucking inauguration, needed to pick me up.
Yeah.
Bought a collector pack, and yeah. It's great.
Gosh, I guess I haven't bought a lot of collector's boosters. Still haven't hit a serialized card yet. One of these days.
I'm like not. I buy like maybe 1 or 2 collector boosters per set over the course of like, I'm like, yeah, I do not have good luck opening packs. Like, it doesn't stop me, but like the other day I spent like way too much on a bunch of Outlaws of Thunder Junction.
Oh jeez.
Just because I wanted the desert, like the ping lands.
Oh yeah,
those are pauper legal and they're really good. They're really good in burn decks.
That makes sense. Oh yeah, for sure. I could imagine.
Yeah. Oh my god, you got the Jagged Barons, and if you're on like a Rakdos Carnarium, you're getting like that thing's doing double duty. Like you're so back.
We're so back, baby. We're back.
We've never been more back. Common lands. I love lands. I love lands so much. But no, Podatog has been it's been, when we started doing it, it was like the week after Nadu got banned out of Modern.
Okay.
Like,
right.
The way that our release schedule is, so we record like every other week. And the first like 6 episodes were like, Nadu just got banned. Commander just banned all these cards. Oh no, Commander's on fire.
Yeah.
Like, and we were both just like, can everything slow down? Like, it intermittently there'd be like set releases, and we're just like, I want to like go into the pod and like not know what we're talking about. And it's, I don't know, I have a lot of fun with it because like we both like, Jordan plays a lot more Commander than I do, kind of like regularly.
Yeah.
And so I get to show up and like speak gibberish, and I'm like, have you seen the Modern bans? And they're like, they ban cards in Modern, and I'm like, rarely.
People play Modern still? Like, what is?
Yeah.
Have they not heard of Commander? Like, what are they doing?
Oh my god. The recent Pauper bans, thank God Deadly Dispute's out, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah,
oh my god.
I think we're talking, I think I have that. I have, I'm a dirty Affinity player, I think I made. So, okay, my decks are really outdated. I got into Pauper via Tori of the Vast. She kind of introduced me. And I was like, oh, I built an Affinity deck, but the list was so old, they still had a Tog in it.
Oh, no, you were running on ATOGs. Go.
And then she's like, I think I showed her the list. She's like, wait, these are all banned. I was like, oh, I guess my list is...
we're on like ATOG and like Prismatic or... my god. What's the name of the card? It just got one of them just got unbanned.
Yeah, Sphere, the one like you draw a card.
Chromatic Prism.
Yeah,
Or no, it's the one that when it enters you draw a card and then you can tap and filter.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. I mean, that's what it does for sure.
Yeah, I play so much Pop. Hold on, do I have one in a deck next to me?
I think I have my. Let's see how this deck list is. I have it on my
Is that's Snakes, that's Affinity, this is Goblins.
This is gonna bug me.
I can see it. I can see the card.
The art's awesome. I like.
Yeah, it's a sick as hell card.
Prismatic. No.
It's It's not Prismatic Sphere or something, or it's.
I thought it was. God, this is gonna bug me. Prophetic
Prism.
Oh, yeah, that sounds right because it's definitely
prophetic. I swear it's Prophetic Prism, right? I mean,
Yes, prophetic prism.
yes,
Yes,
there we
yes,
go.
that's it. Is. There it
Oh
is.
no, you were on Atog and Prophetic Prism a couple years ago.
I made like that was a deck. I found a list and I made that. And I'm like, oh, these are all banned. So then I had to like I think my list is up to date now.
I mean,
Well, but
Affinity, you can be running like Fanatical Offering.
I can okay. So I have it on my Mox field. I'll tell you
Yeah,
see what I have on here. Carapace, Forager, Frogmite, Gear
yeah,
Seeker, Serpent, Crank, Clan, Shaman, Mirror
yeah,
Enforcer.
yeah.
All that kind of Teamer Battle Rages in here. Perilous Reach. I thought I had. I thought I is this maybe this is not even. When did I make this deck? Oh, 3 years ago. I think I have a newer version of this because I think I have Deadly Dispute, and there was a Kamigawa version that was kind of like Deadly Dispute.
Oh, Reckoner's Bargain.
Reckoner's Bargain. I
The
think it has
life
the
gain. Oh
yeah
my god, I love swinging my Mirror Enforcer into a bad situation and then bargaining it, and I'm like, yeah, I gained 7 life.
yeah that's feels good. Feels real good. Uh,
Yeah, especially against the burn decks.
yeah. Oh man, Life gain is cheat.
Oh, I am a dirty cheater. Uh,
Okay, so here's an interesting question because we've kind of you brought it up in something we're kind of been talking about making content you don't define yourself by.
yeah,
So that's kind of an idea you kind of brought up because you have this exhibitionist kind of commander show. Obviously, you don't
yeah.
you play commander, but obviously you play a lot of other formats, Popper, etc. Do you find like what does that mean to you in terms of like do you feel weird like do you feel like when you make something like you need it to define you, or do you think? I
It's
mean, I find I'm gonna just
yeah.
well why don't you tell me what you think?
Um, yeah. No, I mean like it's. I don't define myself by it, but I do kind of feel like it's for me. It's I enjoy like Commander's fun. I have a couple Commander decks.
yeah
I think it's wild that some people are like, I've had the same Commander deck for like 5 years, and I'm like, I tear apart my like outside of my Rhea Ivor deck, I will tear apart every Commander deck I have every 6 months. Just because it's like, which I don't buy singles for things like whatever. Um, but like I really within the space of Commander, I do find something really compelling about like bracket one, like the ethos of exhibition.
yeah
And so like yeah, but at the same time, like I wouldn't say that like I'm a Commander content creator. Like I'm not a you know, I'm certainly not like someone who's like, how would I build a very tuned such and such deck? I'm like, I can help you do that, but there are better people to talk to. Like I can tell you how to detune it. I can tell you how to
yeah
make it funny.
yeah
But and so I guess what's kind of nice about like not necessarily defining myself by it is there's less personal stress.
hmm
It's like, I want to make it good, but I don't hinge like my entirety on it succeeding beyond my wildest expectation. Like my goal with the Exhibitionists is to have fun with my friends and show people alternative, possibly more accessible ways of engaging in a format that I think in recent times like is just so it feels so like arms racy.
yeah
Like
it, so I definitely get what you're saying, and I wonder too as someone who's like I do a lot. I don't consider myself like a content creator, right?
right,
I always call myself I'm a photographer. Like if I have to label myself, it's a photographer.
right.
And I find and like I know you're a filmmaker, so I wonder if you have the same kind of idea as someone who like works in these mediums.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of times I want real sharp, accurate like color digital photos.
Yeah.
The other times, like I do a lot of film. I like to shoot film a lot still. I want.
I
So
love shooting on film.
yeah, and
Oh my god.
and it's like, I think to your point, how it relates to like Commander, or just not necessarily Commander, maybe defining like one aspect of what you do. It becomes so limiting sometimes as to like what you can produce.
Right.
Because if you take Commander as our example, like if you define yourself as I'm a Commander content creator, well, it's like you're only you're only allowing yourself to do commander based stuff when there's so much more you can
It's
do with like
right.
magic
It's
at
like
the medium.
yeah, like especially yeah. If I define myself as a commander player first and foremost, it throws everyone for a loop when I'm like, oh my god, did you see that Minsk and Boo got pointed in Canlander?
Yeah.
Which thank God. But oh my god, that is one of the best things that's happened for the game. Canlander's awesome.
Okay,
I need to play more.
Quick
But
aside, like what is Canland? Like I see it popping up. It's just I keep meaning to like
oh,
look.
Canadian Highlander.
Yeah, what? Okay, give me the pitch. What is it? Like what is the difference between how do you play? Like
What if Vintage was 100 cards singleton?
Oh. Okay.
It's sick as fuck.
Oh.
Oh yeah. What if you had an idea for a commander deck that didn't really care about the commander and you wanted to run like Black Lotus?
Okay. So I knew it was pointed. So it's like this because I know people have kind of talked about that for like EDH, like if you had signed, but this is like a pointed system where how many points? So not everything is pointed? I'm guessing.
No, there's a list of cards that are pointed.
Okay.
I can't recall how many are on there right now. I think it's I believe it's between 20 and 50 cards.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that. There aren't that many, and there are some cards where it's like, oh yeah, obviously, and then there's some where it's like, wait, really? And a lot of the cards that have like just like 1 point or 2 points are to disincentivize players from like, it's like, oh, if you're in these colors, like obviously you'd just be playing this card. And so to like help with like format diversity, things like Minsk and Boo, Urza's Saga, Psychic Frog have all been recently pointed at like 1 point. So it's like, okay, that's one of your 10 points.
Okay, so you get 10 points. Okay.
And some cards have like different levels of points where like I think Soul Ring is 3 or 4 points.
Oh wow.
Moxen are 3 or 4 points. Black Lotus is 7. I think Time Walk is like several points. And so you can it really becomes fun. There's one of the most busted cards in the format, or like I don't follow Canelander like super closely. Like I follow the decks they play on North 100. Shout out. I love North 100, sick as hell. Like if you like watching people play busted Magic, it's great. But there's the Lord of the Rings Commander card, 4th Aerolingus.
Okay, yeah.
Because you'll run into decks that are like Turbo Initiative, and like it. Oh my god! Or like Monarchy, like all of these things that are like fun in multiplayer, but then become like cracked in 1v1.
Okay, so it is a 1v1 format.
It's a 1v1 20 life.
20 life. Is there a commander type card, or is it just
no? It is 100 card singleton.
Oh, okay. So that's wild. That's actually even more wild because
it's so cool.
So it's just piles the game. It's just like
it's
pile.
But like you're on tutors, you're on Moxen, you're like
okay.
Yeah.
Now,
oh my god.
Now you're cooking. Now we're cooking. Now we got
the land bases are and also like because there's no commander, there's no like tethering to color identity.
Yeah.
So you can like it's oh my god, the mana bases are absolutely cracked, and like if you look at some of these decks on like Moxfield, just see like how much they'd cost. It's like, oh, this is like $50,000 because you're on like if you're, let's say you're on like some sort of like Mardu situation. It's like, I'm on Mardu, but I'm on Mardu blue because I'm also like playing every dual land I can.
Yeah.
And I might like, I've got like a Ponder in here or something. Like I might as well.
Okay. So, wow, now you've piqued my interest because it almost feels like weird kitchen table.
It's
commander pile like
for
nonsense.
Just like I was joking the other day. My partner and I drafted our cube, and I was like, "Oh, I'm on a 14-point limited deck," because like I draft is a strong word. We did kind of like a limited sealed thing where we both just like took a chunk of cards out of the long box and are like, all right, we have 75 cards, let's see what we got. I was on Mox, Black Lotus, Minsk and Boo.
Oh jeez.
And in 40 cards, I turned one Hero of Bladehold. It was sick.
That's wild.
But yeah, like it's to kind of circle back to your initial question, I would say that like no, I play Magic.
Yes.
Because so that way I can talk about these kinds of formats and like there's this like consistency. There's like it's all like diegetically resonant that you see on internet. Bugs is all of a sudden being like, hey, look, they banned this. Like, thank God this got banned in Pioneer. Or like, thank God Kuldotha's out. Oh my God, Pauper's saved. But like all of that, it allows me to like more fully enjoy the game and like engage with it, not in a way that feels content creaty. Like it allows me to just be really earnest.
Yeah.
And not feel pigeonholed to be like, oh, I need to like, or like, you know, if I was a commander player, like strictly defining myself as a commander player, it would be, I think I would maybe have a harder time like with the brackets because I would have a preconceived notion of like, well, how is this going to impact my shit? How is this going to like do all of these things? Instead, I get to look at it as this lens through which to engage the medium. Which like I have too many degrees. So everything circles back to esoteric analysis. But yeah, like I think there's kind of a freedom in allowing one's, I guess, like, persona or, like, digital brand to be a little bit more porous.
Yeah. Especially if, like, to your point, you're like, you don't call yourself a content creator, right?
No.
Like, I'd say, like, if you, like, if you want, like, if someone wanted to be a content creator and they wanted to be a commander, like, there's nothing wrong.
Oh, no, go for it. Oh, my,
right?
no, like, that's, yeah, so, yeah. None of this is to in any way, and also none of this is in any way shit talking Commander as a format.
No,
I love playing Commander. I just don't think that's the only way. That's not the only way I like playing Magic.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I think due to the size and popularity of Commander, there are sometimes people who just like that's all they care about, and they live in this. There's kind of like a stereotype, it's like, oh, Commander players are doing Magic because they don't care about. Which, like, again, stereotypes sometimes exist for a reason.
I mean, I will absolutely joke. Sometimes looking at like the hyped cards of a new set, I will just be like, Commander players are fucking wild. like just all the love to everyone listening to this, but like when Mox Jasper was released and people were hype about it, I'm like, that sure is good in Ur-Dragon.
Yeah.
And I don't know where else this sees play. I mean, like, you know.
But you know what? If they kept making Moxes like Mox Jasper,
yeah.
Mox Jasper, like very like focused, like minimized. I think that would be cool because typically it's like they keep they make a Mox and like they try so hard to like make it not broken, but like,
and then oh my god, you have to imprint a card on it. Okay, you have to picture land. Okay, you need Metalcraft. That's not hard to do.
You need a legendary something on the field. Well, that's
all right.
Yeah.
No, like I like Mox that only gets turned on if you have basic lands.
Oh yeah, there you go.
That'd be kind of fun.
That would be kind of fun.
I will say, if they go back to like creature type matters Mox, I'm like, oh yeah, it's a fucking dragon Mox. If they made a goblin Mox, like, yeah, no, I'm absolutely am getting that because there's 1-drop goblins.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really into knights. If they made like a Mox something that's like, oh
yeah,
you had to make because that's the kind of thing where like it's super narrow.
Yeah,
but like you're still kind of because like. I think that's the problem too. Like Moxes are fun to play because it's fun playing with powerful cards sometimes, right?
I have cast a real Mox Jet for the first time like last year, and I'm still not normal about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
so
I'm like holy shit, yeah, like yeah.
And I feel like Moxen are so ingrained in kind of the mythology and the mythos of Magic.
Yeah.
Like I want them to be around, but they made Mox. I came back to game for the most, as and state to up to when Dominaria first came out, and like Mox Amber. I
Oh
remember when
yeah.
they previewed it, everyone's like, "Oh, this doesn't look that great." Like whatever. Mox Amber's like a $50 card now because
Mox Amber's nuts.
yeah, it's a great card. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you need a
Yeah.
legendary. I was like, well, it's that's considering there's like
Yeah.
300 legendaries in every set. It's like not that.
Yeah, I was gonna.
difficult.
Yeah, like, oh my god. Yeah, in Dominaria, yeah, there's gonna be a legendary or two.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's. I think that's sometimes like limiting yourself, like being open to new form. You
Yeah.
know, looking at. I think just think, people should take a look at what's out there, like see what
Yeah.
else is what else
Well-
you can kind of do and what how else to engage in the game sometimes because you might find something
Like,
you enjoy doing.
I think that there's I think it becomes like a really fun two-way conversation. Like as you engage with more formats, you learn to evaluate cards in different ways. You get like you are able to engage with sets in different ways.
Yeah.
And you can like bring some of that over to like Commander where it's like, "Oh, this card was a house in my pre-release deck.
Yeah.
I bet it would go nuts in this Commander deck." And I can speak from very recent personal experience. I bought the Zurgo Stormrender Precon because I loved Tarkir. Like,
Yeah.
holy hell. But in my my limited deck for the pre-release, I had the Starry-Eyed Skyrider. I don't know if you've ever dealt with this guy.
Oh no, I don't think so.
It's a 3-mana 1/3 flyer that whenever it attacks, it gives another creature flying and also gives all your attacking token creatures flying.
Oh.
And I'm like, yeah, that's. I looked at this like because my partner and I like signed up for the pre-release. We're like kind of getting ready, and we're like, oh, they're gonna start in like 20 minutes. I'm like, I like seeing some stuff for like the Zurgo Precon. I'm like, yeah, I don't have a Mardu tokens deck. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Why not? And then I picked that up, and like as we're building these, I like cracked the Starry-Eyed Skyrider for the first time, and I'm like, oh, this thing's going directly into this after the I'm like, this is because oh my god, Mobilize as a mechanic is my shit. But yeah, like but that's just like one like instance of if you allow yourself to just engage with things in a multiplicity, you can become a more well-rounded, in this case, Magic player. But I think this also kind of extends, obviously, like far beyond that. Like it's just like
metaphor for life and being.
yeah, just like it's so cool and good to not shut yourself off, to like not sequester yourself into one specific mode of being, says the trans woman.
Yeah.
You can in fact choose to do whatever you want. But yeah, like it's I don't know, like I think that it's fun to just not put in like self-imposed barriers, especially if you feel like you might want them to be more porous.
Yeah. 100% agree. Very well said.
Thank you.
So I don't want to keep too much longer, but I have to talk to you about filmmaking and film a little bit. As
Definitely.
someone, like I said, I've reiterated, I'm a photographer myself. I dabble in video stuff, not probably anything too crazy, but I just want to talk to you about like so. What got you into film? Like, what do you like to shoot? Like, what have you done? Like, what interests you as a filmmaker? Like, what are you looking to do? Like, what kind of films are trying to make? Or like, what? Tell me about being a filmmaker. That's super cool.
Yeah, no, thank you. So I saw Star Wars when I was 3, and
yeah.
Very specifically on VHS, and it was the like special editions that had the little featurettes of like how each movie like
so
a little bit
was,
of
was it
BTS.
the pre with the THX remaster with George Lucas talking to Leonard Maltin, or was it the actual special editions with the added footage?
The 97 with the added footage, the one with the really bad looking Jabba.
Okay,
New Hope.
so that's
the one where Khan does that thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which unfortunately that's my first intro to Star Wars, and I know.
Listen, so Star Wars is always my first love.
Yeah.
And as when the special editions came out, I thought they were fucking awesome because I was like, oh, look at all this awesome new footage. Like look at all this more Star Wars. There's more stuff.
There's more.
Like, yeah, I thought the Jabba thing was fucking cool. I know it was like, oh, like this is so cool. Here's Jabba in A New Hope. Like we didn't see him to Return of the Jedi. Like, and you get to see him kind of. in retrospect, and the
It's
Han will always shoot first. Like that's not that's
yeah, yeah, like no, that neither here nor there.
yeah, yeah,
But hard agree, hard agree. No, I mean like it's funny though. My friend and I were talking the other day about like the most frustrating thing about the added Jabba scene isn't even that like the CGI is not great or whatever, but how redundant it is coming right after the Greedo scene.
yeah. No,
Like
that is
it
true.
really just kind of treads water.
Yeah,
And so I'm like, oh, like,
yeah,
but yeah. So like, I saw Star Wars when I was a kid, and like specifically fell in love with the stop motion elements.
yeah, yeah.
Like, which very soon after led to like I think I got my first camera for stop motion when I was like 9.
Oh wow, okay.
And so I was like making little like Lego animations and da 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 da, and this spirals into I'm like I'm gonna go to school for film. I'm gonna do all of this stuff, and when I get to my undergrad, I really fall in love with more like avant-garde like video art. Like I start like really throwing narrative out the window.
Yeah.
And I've largely stayed in that space.
Okay.
Where I'm really informed by a lot of like new queer cinema from the 90s, as well as a lot of like neo-Dadaist work.
Okay.
Like I remember, God, I was like what 20 in undergrad. I remember I need to fix. I have this shitty old DSLR that like I love shooting on because it's it's tiny, it's kind of crappy, and you can just kind of cram it anywhere and get these very goofy angles.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember waking up after a very long day and then night of partying. I wake up at like 10:30 in the morning. I feel like hell, and I'm like, I'd recently been like looking into a lot of like Warhol's work. And I'm like, okay, it'd be really funny if I'm like, I think I'm gonna barf. And I'm like, I'm just gonna throw a camera on and point it at my bed and just kind of sit there and see what happens. And I'm like, so I showed a bunch of my friends, like, it's unedited footage of the artist dry heaving and passing out. Just like nonsense filmmaking and whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so that kind of, I really got into like installation art after that. So like my undergrad capstone was this big like meditation on like queerness and nudity that was in a big dark room that had naked bodies like thrown onto these big like sculptures that I'd built. So it's just kind of become like compoundingly goofy.
Yeah.
And then from there I did my an MFA program out in LA, and that kind of like rerouted me back into more of a like professorial mindset, which then 2 summers ago my friend Mia Moore and I shot a film that she wrote called Again Again. I was one of the producers and like wore a bajillion other hats on that, and it's it's a feature film that we shot for like $100,000, which was insane. We shot it largely in her mom's driveway.
Oh wow, okay.
Hopefully we'll find distro for that soon. I unfortunately cannot talk too much about that project in its current state, just because it's like we are in the midst of trying to get it somewhere. But this is a very long-winded way of saying that like my relationship with film is very freeform, very esoteric, very I really love exploring like what the medium can be and can say, and like how you can rearticulate that. Like Shock of Shocks, I'm a very big fan of like David Lynch.
I mean,
like,
of course, yeah,
right. But very specifically the way that he plays with sound in Mulholland Drive is like the Club Silencio is kind of like a core text for like, oh cool, so you can just like really foreground the fact that like the materiality of the medium is so much more malleable, and like the way that you can influence an audience is so like there's this fun like fulcrum of like emotional manipulation that you can really engage with, like if you want to go there, um by futzing with like anticipated like what is expected for a film to be, and then like really breaking that like diegesis. That was a lot of words.
But no, I mean, I I just love like talking with people, artists when they
Yeah.
talk about their medium, whatever, because it's just like you said a lot of stuff and like I didn't understand all of it.
It's all good.
But like I mean, I get what you're doing.
Yeah.
I get it though, and just like I fucking love when people just take swings with their art, right?
It's
Like that's to me is like what makes it worthwhile or makes it
Yeah.
interesting. So like, I do photography. I'm really these days I call myself a portrait photographer.
Yeah.
But I'm really into like, Robert Frank, Robert Donow, Eisenstadt, like the old black and white masters. That kind of
Oh
shit.
my god, yeah.
Just like, I was really into photojournalism in college. I was on the newspaper. I actually was the newspaper editor my last year of college, and
Hell yeah.
I was like this close to going to a master's program in Boston for photojournalism, and like, but just like that, just like capturing the moment, like from not the shit, like the fly on the wall, like that.
Yeah, like that's sort of like like the immediacy, the candid.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff I've street photography is one of my favorite things to do or shoot. But
I'm working on a documentary right now, so I feel that's shot very similarly, like immediate.
yeah, but just like, I always think the hardest thing as like an artist is finding your
Artist.
finding. I always feel pretentious.
Go for it. Go for it.
Yeah, I know. I again.
I just use how many multi-syllabic words, like.
I know, but you sounded so confident to do it, so I'm over here like, well, I like to take the picture and thing, but
Okay, yeah. Look, I could talk about the ontology of the photographic image all day long, like, and the difference between digital, like, I won't get on it right now. Maybe I could. Just pixels are different than film emulsion, and I wish more people felt like actually contended with that. But that's
well, I mean, like digital is just so much easier in a lot of aspects, but like film takes so much more work. But there's something about
pixels can lie.
Well, I mean, to that point, my friend and I talked about this once, and like we came up with this thing where it's like, like regardless of you take a photo, right? You have that negative,
yeah,
and like that film will like nothing else in the world will ever imitate that like, negative.
Have you ever heard about the indexicality?
No, I don't think I have.
Okay, so this is like an old 70s like school of thought and whatever. But it's this kind of like an index is like this mark of a thing that was there. And so like you could think like a fingerprint, or in the case of like film emulsion, like the negative is a document of someone who was before the lens of the camera at the time that the shutter was released, and then light hit the thing and da-da-da-da. Like that is a referent of this moment. I'm like not explaining it super great because I haven't like read the couple of things on this in like a second, but like but no, like there is something that's so core to that with like specifically like film.
Yeah. And it's like digital, zeros and ones, right? You can copy your digital image, and you can have both, and that negative and the imperfections you get in the negatives are sometimes like the grain. And I have this small Olympus XA that I took on a bachelor trip, and I took to my buddy's wedding after, and it's like there's some of the light seals are wearing, and there's like light leaks.
But that's beautiful.
Yeah, they're just.
Oh my god, it's perfect imperfection. Yeah, like not to get Bob Ross about it, but like happy accidents.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
so
no, like I like God. At the end of undergrad, we had to write like an artist manifesto for this one course I was in, and I refused to call myself a filmmaker because I'm like, well, I don't work with film. I work with the digital image.
Yeah,
and I think I was like, I'm a temporal painter. I work with the pixel. But I still have that like ethos where it's like, why define yourself to just one thing, and like really kind of play with like like I love incorporating like found footage into things. I love incorporating like getting as mixed media as I can. Like, you know, I play a couple of instruments. I like to score a lot of my own work as well. Like,
Yeah.
and so I treat filmmaking like painting. I love painting.
Well, I mean, and the beauty of like for me, and I'm talking with you, it's all these different things we pull together
Yeah.
from the different experiences and stuff we look at, and people like it comes together in this form that you then project as your own.
Yes.
And it's all these things you can constantly evolve your style and what you're trying to evoke, and how you get to that evocation of like what you're trying to produce. Like that I feel like is like the best part about creating something is like, yeah, like I want to create this thing today, but like a year from now, I might find some photographer I'd never heard of before. Like, oh, I see all his work, and I'm like, oh, this is freaking awesome. Like, I want to try doing some of this stuff,
Oh my
right?
God.
And like, and even like when it comes to the videos, or like you know, talk about music. Like I play bass, right?
Oh,
Even like
hell yeah.
you feel these other worlds that kind of inspire you in different ways, but they like change your brain chemistry to how you think about stuff, and it comes out in all these sort of ways.
Right,
and
like as soon like I love it's all blues, it's all jazz.
Yeah.
Like at the end of like it's just jazz, it's just kicker.
Yeah, it's just kicker. Yeah, I mean, again,
But, like,
it's all kicker, it's all jazz. Like it's the same, you know, everything is all is one. You know.
Yeah. No, but like actually, no,
Yeah.
like oh my God, no, but like just getting so freeform with like, you know, especially like when you're doing any sort of like digital like photo editing or anything, like when you enter into that like flow state where you're like, oh shit, oh fuck, I can like you know, you're like seeing through the matrix, and all of a sudden it's like I know exactly how I want this entire batch of photos to go.
Yeah.
And like it's just it's great. It's like intoxicating.
It really is, and it's like if you're not trying to like push your work in new and interesting direction, because like, you know, I did wedding photography for a while and like paid the bills, right? That's how. But like I got bored of, because there's a certain, everything was kind of, you do it, you edit it kind of the same. There's like a way to do whatever,
right,
but like.
Yeah.
When you're doing your own stuff, or when you're trying to like push forward yourself, like if you're not trying new things, you're not exposing yourself to new, and it's not even just, you know, some people like, oh, you got to read a bunch of art books, like even just travel, or just read, or just look at stuff.
Yeah, like you will find inspiration in the weirdest places, and like I know that's kind of a cliche, but like it's very true.
Yeah.
And like I think the best way that one can develop as an artist is to like pursue like creative spaces that like aren't your like medium of choice, that like aren't your like
comfort
artistic
zone.
like vocation, right? Where it's like, you know, I think I get a lot of like artistic fulfillment within magic, and then kind of bring the like, okay, well, like if I'm looking at like brewing goofy things in magic, and then going and like talking with, I've got a meeting with a friend of mine tomorrow that we're going to try to break a script that I've had this idea percolating for like the last year or so.
Yeah.
And we were talking about like, well, okay, well, we have to do it like this because other, like, it makes the most sense, like, to have, I don't even know how, like, to shorthand this. But like, just recognizing, like, for lack of a better phrase, like the synergy within like the filmmaking process, where it's like, okay, like this thing can necessarily represent like X, Y, and Z, and we need to like approach all of the scenes that it's in with like this type of care.
Yeah.
So as to create like a more unified like viewing experience. And in many ways, that's just adding flavor, baby.
That's it. That's
like
it.
like it's all the same thing. It's all jazz.
It's all jazz. Well, Bugs, thank you so much for spending so much time. This has been phenomenal. So I don't want to take up too much. I know, again, you're 2 hours ahead of me too, so it's getting a little late for you. But so what I like to do, I'm going to pop up my community board real fast. So through the magic of my video editing, seriously. And typically when I do any guests I have on, I have them pick a group or a charity organization to donate to. So you have chosen the Trevor Project.
Yeah.
So I will be making a donation to the Trevor Project, just as a, small way to kind of help contribute to a group that's really doing essential work these days.
They're phenomenal. Like, they were important to me as a kid, and like the work they're doing is kind of unparalleled.
It is, and it's unfortunate that we live in a time where trans people are unnecessarily attacked for the stupidest. Like,
we're just hanging out.
They just it's just like
if anything, attack us for how like sweaty we play CDH. Like, that's reasonable. I get that. But
yeah,
like...
but for existing, like, people are
Yeah.
just trying to, like, it's terrible, and trans rights are human rights. Like, trans people, just the people, like, they're just trying to survive. That's what really gets me annoying. Is like they're just trying to like live. They're just trying to live. You know, it's ridiculous. So I'll be making a donation to that. Just small contribution. I want to thank you again so much for spending so much time with me. I will make sure to link all your socials and all your awesome shows. Please check out the Exhibitionist, the Podatog, all of Bugs' podcast shows. You can find her on Bluesky at Bluesky. Too much magic on the mind.
Bluesky. The all magic Bluesky.
Oh, there you go.
Actually, okay, hold up.
Wait a minute. Might be onto something here.
You're right, that.
So, and I think this has inspired me to kind of continue with this show. It's been a little bit, if anyone has been hanging around, but there are a lot of people I would like to talk to. Life is just, it's wild. It's wild these days. So, if you did enjoy the show, feel free to like, subscribe, retweet. I don't know. I'm very bad at self-promotion, so I just hope you enjoyed listening.
Ring that bell. Subscribe.
Ring that bell. I should get a bell. That's ding, ding, ding,
Oh
ding.
my god, get like a cowbell.
Oh, you know what? I've been rewatching King of the Hill, and you can't. The opening song is so good. You can't skip the cowbell. Ding, ding,
oh
ding,
my
ding,
god. The open. I'll tell you this after we finish wrapping. I have a King of the Hill opening.
Really?
Story.
Hell
Micro
yeah.
story.
So, again, Bugs, thank you so much, and we'll catch you all next time.
Hell yeah! Thanks for having me.